Hi, I often get questions from people who are interested in investing in Austin or just want to check out Austin. Why is it ranked number one city in the USA for so many years already? Uh, we are continuously competing with cities like Denver, Orlando, all these top tier cities in the US that are also happen to be like favorite cities for people to move to. And Austin has consistently ranked number one, two, or three as one of the hottest cities that people want to move to. So I wanted to walk you through a little bit about why Austin is such a livable city, and also talk to you about what are some of the areas that are worth looking into in Austin for investment. So let me share my screen and we will get into it. So first of all, we've been experiencing quite a bit of population growth from 2010 to 2020. We've had an increase of 30.9% in the metro area. In 2015, our Austin metro surpassed 2 million for the very first time. Now, considering back in the 1990s, we were just a college town, really. There was University of Texas, there was Dell, but in its inception, and there was the state of Texas, and that was pretty much it. But now you've got all these other high-tech companies that are already made their presence felt here in Austin, and there are more coming. We will discuss later. Here's the population growth between 2009 to 2019, 32.4, kind of reflects my previous statistic. One of the really wonderful example of Austin's pull, if you will, the attraction of Austin to people that want to move here is it's blessed with natural beauty. There are hills and there are lakes. There's a river, Colorado River runs through Austin downtown, and further upstream they have a dam, Lake Travis Mansfield Dam, which creates the Lake Travis, and that's one of the popular recreational spots for Austinites. And the hills, if you talk about rolling hills, we are full of it. Austin is famous for its rolling hills. Now, Austin is also the capital of Texas. We are in the middle of three major cities in Texas: Houston, Dallas, Fort Worth, and San Antonio. Very accessible to any of these large cities. And if you want to check out the video link below for an aerial view of the Austin area, it is truly a beautiful sight to behold. So Austin economy has been roaring. I mean, seriously roaring, even back in the early 2000s. And with the arrival of more and more large companies, all the household names, if you will, and establishing their footprint, even their headquarters here, we've seen such a tremendous growth of employment, and with employment comes additional population growth. So pre-COVID, our unemployment rate has been staying around 3.5% compared to US average about 6. There's no state income tax that applies to the Texas overall. And due to high-tech growth, if you may know, Austin is better known as Silicon Hills. We are quickly catching up, maybe even going to surpass Silicon Valley anytime soon. Now, during the COVID months, this is the interesting part. The unemployment rate actually peaked in April at about 12.2%, and it fell back to around 7%-ish in the June timeframe. Still higher than the pre-COVID days. But the economy in Austin, as you can see, has stabilized quite a bit. Basically, our response to this time of crisis has been very healthy. And if you can see, pre-COVID, our job growth consistently ranks in the top 3. So back in the 2018, 2019 timeframe, we're only second to Dallas metro area. There was a previous chart that I had in here, which puts Austin at around number 3 back in 2015. And 2019, we are number 2. We are definitely high up there in the job growth category. One of the driving factors of industries, major corporations moving to Austin is the talent pool. We have one of the best universities in the world, University of Texas at Austin. The number of students on campus is perhaps one of the largest in the whole United States. 40% of the Austin or more of the Austin adult population has a college degree or higher. And we have high schools that are nationally ranked. In fact, several of them. So the talent pool is undeniable here in Austin, and with the arrival of these corporations, there's more and more of the synergy, if you will, that has been created in Austin that continues to produce talent in and around Austin. All right, so now finally come to the topic of real estate. For the past 7 to 8 years, we have had 8 to 10% increase on average, and this applies to the overall metro Austin area. There's some pockets that have been appreciating 15, 20%, and some others probably less because of the maturity of some of the downtown market, for example. You won't see that kind of a high percentage because it's a pretty much mature market. But in the suburban areas, in the midtown, uptown areas, there has been tremendous growth, tremendous appreciation. And some of the biggest appreciation that we've seen are the areas around where the new Apple campus is going to be. And with the announcement recently of Tesla officially building their factory here in Austin, that has created a similar effect. So due to population growth, job growth, and excellent quality of life, demand for Austin housing continues to outpace supply. Yes, we are in a very strong seller's market here in Austin for the past 7 to 8 years. All right, so most of you might already have heard Tesla is officially chosen Austin to build a Gigafactory. It will generate 5,000 jobs, average of $50K salary per year. They want to have cars starting to roll out of the line by end of 2021, and that's just around the corner, folks. And it is located in Del Valley area on 2,000 acres. One thing that's interesting, afterwards I will show you a map that shows where it is. And this is already prompting real estate sales to accelerate in Del Valley and in the Southeast Austin areas. If you're familiar with Austin, Del Valley is very close to the Austin airport, and it is an ideal location actually to build a new factory. Amazon is also a large player, and in the recent months and years, they've been increasing their footprint here. There was already 800 plus employees in the Northwestern area, and they're gonna add a 4 million square foot warehouse space in the Pflugerville, creating approximately 1,000 jobs. And not only that, they've added more distribution centers around Round Rock, Buda, and Kyle. Round Rock is in the northeast part of Austin Metro. Buda and Kyle are in the south. So not only in the traditional, uptown, midtown Austin and northwest Austin, things are beginning to look really, really well for the areas south of Austin, which is traditionally have been, pretty sleepy until now. Okay, and as you all know, from last year, Apple is building their new campus. It has broken ground back in December 2019, located in Northwest Austin. already employing 7,000 employees here in Austin, and the new campus is going to initially house 5,000, so they're going to move some of that from their current campus. I'm not quite sure what they will do with the current campus. The new campus is going to have the capacity to grow to 15,000. Just a fun fact, they will be building a 50-acre, or rather reserving a 50-acre nature and wildlife preserve in their new campus that is open to the public. And I myself will definitely check that out once that is available and send you guys a video of it. A little bit of Austin 101 Realty. I am the founding partner. Both my wife and I run this company. We help buy, sell, lease, and manage properties. And if you have any questions and any needs with regards to real estate, feel free to reach out to us. And here's our contact info. But before we end, I would like to share with you a little bit about the expansion of these companies into Austin, how that has been affecting real estate. And we'll take a look at this particular map. Okay. This is a map of all the greater Austin major employers. And as you can see, I have Apple highlighted over here. And this is downtown Austin area. And further south is where the southeast is where the airport is. Southwest, you have some major companies here. So you have major company, large companies spread throughout Austin area. But one of the things that you will notice after checking out Austin for a while, or researching on Austin, is that you look at this area. I call this the Austin's research triangle, if you will. It has the highest concentration of, in my mind, of all the high tech and major corporations here in Austin. There are other areas with high-tech companies also, downtown, for example, in Southwest Austin, for example. But this has got to be the highest concentration. And even if you spread out just 1 mile beyond this triangle area, you will have even more of these high-tech companies included in the list. So what is this triangle? This triangle is the 183 over here, I-35 over here, and 45 Toll Road to the north. Okay, so you have Apple, you have Visa, Facebook, Amazon, IBM. There used to be Motorola over here. Now they've moved when they merged with NXP. Freescale merged with NXP, and then they moved down south. But there used to be a very large Motorola presence here. Now, of course, we've talked about the new Apple campus, where it's going to be. And that's going to be right over here, close to where eBay is. And it's a $1 billion campus. And one of the things that we have noticed in the past year since the announcement is that any homes that come up in the market within this 2 to 3 mile range, or rather 3 to 5 mile radius. Things have been moving very fast. A lot of investors have come into that area. A lot of home buyers have to compete with multiple offers and all that. And it's just growing tremendously. Schools here are wonderful too. School district here is strong. And actually, a lot of the high-tech population, high-tech workers population are kind of concentrated around in this triangle and also around it. There's Northwest Austin area that's very popular with, I would say they're the original high-tech workers here. They bought up quite a lot of properties in this area. And then recently, with the growth here in the triangle area, there's also Cedar Park area that has greatly appreciated, by the way, because of the influx of this high-tech community. There's also Round Rock here and Pflugerville to the east. Now, Pflugerville and East Round Rock have maintained better affordability, but is also appreciating quite well, although not as well as these established areas over here, Northwest and Cedar Park here, to the north and to the northwest. So to the east is slightly, I would say, lagging, but they are also catching up very quickly. So some of the factors that contributes to that is probably just lower school ratings over here, which have improved through the years, but they have some room to catch up. All right, so that's the Apple, right? And speaking of Pflugerville, we talked a little bit about Amazon expansion in Pflugerville. And if you take a look at 130 right here, this is the 130 toll road. Around this area is where the 4 million square foot distribution center is going to be built for Amazon, and 1,000 jobs will be created in this area. Now, it hasn't caused as much of a buzz as Apple or Tesla did with their announcement, but that's because Amazon has already had a presence. If you look at this right here, yep, they already have a presence in Austin. And they have been, slowly expanding their distribution footprint throughout Austin, Round Rock area, Buda and Cal, and now a major one in Pflugerville. So, and Pflugerville has been expanding like crazy too. All right, and last but not least, I won't call it last, but another major happening is right here on 130 and right around here, 130 close to the airport, where it's basically the Del Valley region. And if you see these streets that are crisscrossing, densely, it's most likely a neighborhood. This is actually the Austin's Colony area, and Tesla is building their factory right here on 2,000 acres. It has already broken ground, and I hope to provide videos of progress, if you will, in the next couple of weeks. But that has prompted the not just this area over here, but this area further up north. There are some new communities that has prompted a lot of action in the real estate arena. What once was a sleepy area right here that only some few investors would go in, and also homeowners find affordable housing around here, it is now inundated with requests, inundated with investors looking into it, and that has kind of spilled over further south. Further south, closer to where the airport is, like past 71 over here. So you won't be able to see that because now it's being blocked by this inset. But further south of 71, off of 130, there are a couple of neighborhoods that are also experiencing great demand by home buyers and investors alike. So there you have it. A little bit about why Austin has been so hot recently, and why we think that the trajectory in Austin is continuing to go up. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope to talk to you soon, chat with you a little bit more about what's going on in Austin.